Everyone, it's Dave Dubeau here with another special episode of the Property Profits Real Estate Podcast. And today we're doing a special Real Estate Investment Association spotlight interview. And it's my pleasure to be interviewing Zach Weaver from the Great Lakes REIA near Cleveland, Ohio. Zach, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Dave. How about you?
I am doing fantastic. So Zach, let's talk about the Great Lakes REIA. How long have you guys been around? What area do you kind of draw most of your members from? What kind of events do you put on? That kind of thing. So tell us a little bit about your club, about your REIA.
So Great Lakes REIA, we've been around since 2012. We kind of formed out of necessity. Gary Pliny was he started the REIA and he just handed off to me recently. I've taken over as president. But we formed in 2012. We have about 120 members and we cover the Cleveland metro area.
All right, very good. So do you guys focus on one particular style of real estate investing, or is it kind of like all things real estate is what you guys cover?
We focus on all things real estate. For the Great Lakes REIA, we're primarily focused on educating our members on how to run their businesses and do it the right way. Mm-hmm. So, buy and hold, fix and flip, private money lenders, they all have a place in the room for us. We're not focused on one niche or anything like that. It's really how to grow your businesses.
So Zach, it sounds like you got started with REIA as a member, and now you've been plunked into the position as president. So congratulations for that. So what kind of drew your attention to belonging to a real estate investment association or a real estate club? What piqued your curiosity back in the day?
So about 2012, we had 5 rental properties. Things were going decent, but I started to struggle. We were, ramping up and hitting some of those growing pains that people hit. Financing, that's always a big one for people starting off. So I was having issues with financing, and then just finding contractors that you can count on and rely on to do your flips. Like it sounds easy. You pick up the phone book. It's not, So long story short, I joined Great Lakes REIA in 2012, and I probably count on one hand the number of meetings I've missed since then.
Yeah. So what has been for you as a member of a REIA or real estate investment club, what have been like the biggest benefits for you personally? Like obviously you drank the Kool-Aid, now you're the president of the club, but for somebody who hasn't joined a club or a real estate investment association, what would you say are like the biggest benefits you personally have perceived from this?
It's the biggest, it's the education. It's first and foremost, it's knowing how things work. We've got a lot of really unique regulations here in the Cleveland market, and just you don't know what you don't know, right? Until someone's taught you, the cities aren't going to sit there and teach you all the ins and outs of their processes.
No.
So that's what the REIA really has done, is it teaches us how to be successful in the environment that we're in. And like I said, we have some really unique regulations here in the Cleveland. So, and I'm sure other
landlord friendly regulations.
No, they're anything but. The biggest one we have here is they call it point of sale. I'm not sure if you've heard of point of sale, but
no, what does that mean?
So in Northeast Ohio, they have these point of sale regulations, which means the city comes in and inspects your property prior to the point of sale, and it must pass a housing inspection and building code inspection prior to being transferred.
Really? So how does anybody do any flips if the thing has to pass code before it can be sold?
Right. So you got to get really unique. The other thing they'll let you do is they'll let you escrow 150% of the city's estimated cost of repairs in order to transfer the property. So that's a huge one for fix and flips. Like you could buy a $40,000 property and have to escrow 150% of $100,000 repair, right? Like it's crazy.
That is crazy.
So you got to get pretty creative in how you structure your deals sometimes.
You're doing like options and things like that to tie them up and that sort of thing, I would imagine.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just how you structure things, getting creative. You got to work within the box, but you can do a lot of things inside that box. So the education.
But you got to know what the heck the box is first, right? So you don't get caught with your pants down. Yeah, that's a big one.
Right. So it's that education, and like I like to say, like, you need an education to be an engineer, a doctor, a lawyer. The same is true in real estate, right? To be able to be successful here, you need an education on, the sophisticated investor has a leg up on everybody else. They know the ins and the outs. They know the things that can save them money. And the REIA really provides that, if whether it's through the education side or the networking. I mean, I can't tell you how much money I've saved through the networking within our organization. You meet people that are there, they're doing things, and they tell you what they're doing, and you're like, oh, what a great idea, or just connections. Like,
Yeah, for sure. You contract, like you're talking about picking up the white page or the yellow pages to find contractors. That ain't the best way to go. Finding somebody that's used somebody that's reliable, that's a much better way to go.
absolutely. And you join the REIA, well, all the contractors are members. You got your whole team there when you join. You've got real estate agents in there, you've got accountants, you've got lawyers, and you got contractors. So a lot of that stuff's there. And then like even like some of the simple things like flooring, like we go through a lot of flooring fixing and flipping properties. Well, it took me like a year into it till I realized I got an LLC. Why don't I just buy straight from the distributor instead of buying from Home Depot or Lowe's? Because once you're a business and you can get that retail account with the distributor.
Yeah.
So, things like that.
So you're getting it at wholesale prices now instead of paying retail.
Absolutely. So those kind of things make you a little more sophisticated and give you that leg up on the market.
So Zach, it sounds like you've had massive benefit, obviously, and success from being part of your local REIA, the Great Lakes REIA. So besides your own success story, what's like one of your favorite member success stories that pops into your mind?
I'd say Brian Masterson's probably my favorite one. He joined the REIA 2016, real soft-spoken, quiet person. He did everything the right way. And this is why I think it's such a great success story. Is Brian joined the REIA 2016. He had 0 properties. He didn't own any real estate. And he showed up to every single meeting all the way through 2016, all the way into 2017, still had never purchased a property. And now it's 2021 and he's financially independent and has left his W-2 job. But he really did it the right way. He showed up, he got some education, and then he started buying properties. He didn't buy the properties, find out he's in over his head and then try to get someone to save him.
Well, that's a way to learn too.
It is. I've done that.
Yeah, painful one. Yeah. Oh, that is wonderful. Yeah. So I mean that just and everybody that I've interviewed on these spotlight interviews has got like a story like that. And again, it's all about learning the basics, getting the basics down, getting your power team in place. Not getting too stuck in analysis paralysis. It sounds like Brian got going, but it took him a while, that's for sure, until he was comfortable to take
right. He wanted to
first step.
And he shows up at every meeting. I can tell you, he probably hasn't missed 5 meetings in 5 years. He's there every month, and he's asking good questions. Like especially when he was just before he made that first purchase, he was there paying attention, asking some really good questions. And then, once he got comfortable, he got over the analysis paralysis, and then he jumped in and just went, and it was just successful. I mean, right off the bat. And like I said, it's 2021 and he's left his W-2.
Oh, that is fantastic. That is great. Now, you've got a very in-depth personal connection with your REIA. What words of advice would you give to a relatively new real estate investor, or somebody who's got a deal or two under their belt, and they want to kind of kick things up to the next level? What have you found as being the big benefit of taking a more active role in your REIA versus just being a passive member?
The networking, it's huge. And, so you go there to get the education. And at some point you've kind of got a lot of that education. And now you're transitioning more to the networking side and the people you meet, and deals just flow from knowing people that are in the business and that are doing deals. And the more you're there, the more you're participating, you're active, you're seen as a leader, right? And those people that are in the meetings, like especially our REIA, if you go to one of the meetings, there's gonna be a bunch of younger people in the front and there's a bunch of people in the back with gray hair. Well, they're the ones that are at the back end of their career. They own a lot of real estate and they're starting to look at succession planning and things like that. And they're owner financing some of their properties to others. They want to stay in real estate, but they can't be there on site every day. They want to go to Florida.
They just don't want to be anymore. Yeah.
Right. So those guys, they're not dumb. They're not going to go and owner finance their property to the guy who's been there for 2 months, right? Mm-hmm. But they're looking at who's in this room that's an expert, and that's who they're doing business with. So yeah, it's
who
the
do they know?
networking.
Who do they like? Who do they trust out of that group? Right. That's what it's all
right.
about.
That's exactly it. And sometimes it's not today that this relationship pays off. I mean, we got 18 units this summer, owner financed. I met the gentleman 6 years ago, stayed in touch with him through the last 6 years, been active. We've talked so many times, and finally he got to the point where he's ready to sell now. And who did he sell to?
Time and circumstances, and guess who was ready and waiting for him, right?
That's right. And it's because I've been there consistently, for 6 years, and he trusts me. He knows me, he can hand off his baby to me and know that he's going to get paid because the owner financed the whole thing. Yeah. And he knows that I will deal with it and I'll treat his tenants with respect in the right way.
Beautiful. That is a wonderful story. There we go. Got two success stories for one, not just Brian's, but yours as well there. That is fantastic. So Zach, as we're wrapping up our conversation here today, how did the whole pandemic thing affect the Great Lakes REIA, and what did you guys do to pivot and adjust throughout this whole weird time that we're going through?
So for us, it's fairly unique. I'd say it really hurt the organization a lot. So Gary had been running the organization since he started it 9 years ago, and the pandemic came and we just shut down for like 18 months. We didn't really do much. And then, this past spring, I called Gary up and I said, hey, when are we going to get going again? We need to be here. And Gary was he was ready to retire. Again, he's been here for the long haul. He didn't really want to fire it back up and start doing all that. So I kind of stepped in and took over. So attendance wise, membership wise, it really hurt us a lot. But when we came back, we've come back to this core group of people who's really active. They're doing business each and every day. So now that we're back, we've had this opportunity to have a little more, our meetings are a little more higher level, I'd say. So, I don't want to say like we trimmed the fat or anything like that, but we had a lot of people in the meetings before that they just weren't active. They were wannabe investors. They were never going to be active, but they showed up. Now we're really down to these core they're really active, and we can really get into some good strategy sessions and some discussions and doing deals with each other and bringing in a partner on a deal if it's too big for us. So overall, it really affected the membership negatively, but coming back, I think we're going to come back stronger.
Yeah. So are you guys back to doing live in-person events? You doing virtual stuff?
Yes.
You doing both? What?
We do both. So our REIA, we have 2 meetings a month. We have a live in-person meeting third Thursday of every month. Mm-hmm. And then on the first Thursday of every month, we have just an open Zoom meeting for all our members. It's more like an office hours, unstructured question and answer period. So we can bounce ideas off of each other. Try to find contractors. And that one's just for members. So we don't allow the vendors in the room.
Okay.
It's just for members to really have that open, honest, talk, kind of really help each other out if we need to.
Got it. Makes sense. Well, this has been really, really good, Zach. I appreciate your time. And if people want to find out more about the Great Lakes REIA, and I imagine, you got people from out of state who are kind of interested in your neck of the woods. Are people from outside of Ohio able and welcome to attend your meetings as well?
Absolutely. So we have an online option that we offer. Obviously, they're not going to be in person. So, we do charge for membership. It's, it costs money to run the organization. Yes. So there is an online option. We have members in Australia, Israel. We just had a member sign up a couple of weeks ago in Washington, D.C. So we have a lot of members from out of the area. The Cleveland market is really, really strong cash flow wise. So we get a lot of out of state people and they want to sign up, but so we don't charge them full price. We have an online only, and they're allowed they get access to our vendors and that kind of stuff, but they get to get on those Zoom calls, right? Yeah. So they get some of the networking and the value there. They just miss that in-person meeting.
Well, do you do the in-person meeting? Do you do a hybrid where people can watch it online as well, as it only live?
We're moving that direction, but we're not there yet.
Okay, got it. All right. So people want to find out more and connect. What should they do?
Go to greatlakesrea.com.
And we'll put that in the show notes. Zach, it's been a lot of fun. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you, Dave.
All right, everybody. Take care. Tune in for our next episode. Bye-bye. Thanks for tuning into this special Spotlight episode. Now, if you're a real estate investor and you're looking to find private money partners and raise capital for your deals, then check out moneypartnerformula.com. You get a free copy of my book. You You can find out how to raise 6 figures or more in 6 weeks or less. Again, that's moneypartnerformula.com.